How's it going, everyone? This is Lord of Vance, and this is going to be my first Elden Ring walkthrough. Now, technically I've played through the first area a couple of times to get a feel for things, but I've never gone past beating the first real boss fight. Anyways, glad to have you with me. Remember to like and subscribe, and I guess let's do what a Tarnished does. For this playthrough, we're going to be using the Vagabond, mainly because I'm going to be doing kind of a quality build, and the Vagabond starts with the best stats for that. Now, I've already gone through and played with some of the settings and created my own character, like the way I want them to look. So I'm not really going to take the time to go through all of that again. But if you're one of the people that's like, hey, I like it when my character looks a certain way, like I want them to look rugged, or I want them to be pretty or handsome, or whatever your thing is, and it's probably going to be worth your time to go through here and change everything for yourself. Almost forgot, for keepsake, we are going to be using lands between runes because I like to have a couple of free levels right from the beginning. This is a Souls game, we're probably going to need it.
The fallen leaves tell a story. The great Elden Ring was shattered. In our home, across the fog, the lands between. Now, Queen Marika the Eternal is nowhere to be found. And in the night of the Black Knives, Godwyn the Golden was first to perish. Soon, Marika's offspring, demigods all, claimed the shards of the Elden Ring. The mad taint of their newfound strength triggered the shattering. A war from which no lord arose. A war leading to abandonment by the greater will. Oh, rise now, ye tarnished, ye dead who yet live. The call of long-lost grace speaks to us all. Horaloo, chieftain of the Badlands. The ever-brilliant Gold Mask. Fear, the deathbed companion. The loathsome dung-eater. And Sir Gideon Ofnir, the all-knowing. And one other, whom grace would again bless. A Tarnished of no renown. Cross the fog to the lands between. To stand before the Elden Ring. And become the Elden Lord.
Alright, and so the first thing I'm gonna do is take off this helm and this halberd, so that way I have enough mobility to actually have a decent roll. I think technically I could have left the helm on, but I think the helm kind of looks goofy, so off it goes. You know, besides, I didn't spend all that time creating this character that I like the looks of to have a helmet on the whole time, right? Now, if you've never played Elden Ring before, like as soon as you get across this bridge, right down in front of the statue, there is kind of a boss that pops up. You cannot beat this boss as a samurai. I have literally depleted his health to 0. He just kills you instantly, and so I mean it's just best to stand still, save some time, you know, go ahead and get to the next part of the game.
Don't worry, Torrent. Fortune is on his side. We found him here, after all. One of his kind is sure to seek the Elden Ring. Even if it does violate the Golden Order.
Alright, so we finally get to start playing the game. You'll notice it gave you the Flask of Crimson Tears and the Flask of Cerulean Tears. They're exactly what you think they are. It's the ability to heal your health or refill your FP or your magic. Even though I'm going to be a quality build and will not really be using any magic attacks, it's good to have the Cerulean Flask of Tears, at least one, so that way you can use your weapon arts, which I'll go ahead and demonstrate. You know, it uses a little bit of the magic or FP every time you use it, so it's good to have that Cerulean Tears just to be able to refill that when it gets low. Though as a quality build, I never carry more than one. Well, I guess that's not true. Normally, I don't carry more than one. I didn't really speak about it before, but this area I'm in is the tutorial area. It's where you run through, learn how to play the game. I don't really... I said before, I've already played through the first area a couple of times. I really didn't need to come through the tutorial area. I just figured I'd run through it in case you were like, oh, do I need to do this or not? And you know, you were hopeful that you might get great items for running through it. I don't even think the enemies in here can drop their items. So, you know, if you don't think you actually need the tutorial, like if you're familiar with how the Souls game mechanics work, then I would just not waste your time. I mean, obviously, one of the major differences between this and previous Souls games is that ability to just jump whenever you want to, which adds the bonus heavy attack. Or, you know, the jumping heavy attack, I should say. That you really didn't have the option for in previous Souls games, which has been by far one of my favorite additions to this game. This is the Stake of Marika. You can see it's now below our stamina bar. All this means is if I die in here before completing this boss fight, I don't have to go all the way back to the last site of grace I visited and kill all those guys again. I'm gonna pop back up right here at this statue. Though, to be honest, there's like no reason to die to this guy. He is incredibly weak. Like, even as a tutorial boss, he is extremely weak. Now you played through all of that, you get about 600 runes, and the only thing you really get from it is an emote. So, if you're not interested in the emotes, then I would not play through that. Just in case it wasn't obvious, this is back at the beginning where we jump down into the hole. Get our finger severer and our tarnished furled finger, which will allow us to do co-op. That's friendly co-op. Oh, word of warning, if you use the furled finger to do co-op with somebody, you are opening the door to get invaded during said co-op. So, like, a lot of people don't like to do the co-op or the PvP, but if you want to help someone, like you want to play with your friends, playing online with them does enable someone to invade you and try to kill you. A lot of people aren't happy about that, but that's just how it is. This is White Mask Vare. Essentially, if you talk to him, he has a quest line for you. If you talk to him, essentially he says, hey, all these other Tarnished are not doing things right. You have no maiden, so there's no hope for you to complete your quest. However, I am the one shining hope for you, so do what I say, complete my quest, and you'll be good to go. I'm just going to kind of speed through his dialogue as I have already explained it. Talk to him twice and then go about your business. Now, I have never successfully gotten very far in his quest line because I cannot get the PvP to work for the most part. I've tried it several times, just can't get it to work. You just noticed the glowing skull on the ground. That's free runes right there, so I would not pass those up. Dude over there is probably the first real enemy that you can see after coming out of the Stranded Graveyard. That is a trap. Normally in these games, the first enemy's not so bad. Do not approach him. That is a boss in disguise. Like, the boss health bar pops up and everything. I'm just saying, if you want to get whooped up on, you go ahead. But we're going to avoid him for now. Alright, so this is the Church of Ella. This guy over here is Kale. Kale sells some things. Nothing really too valuable. I do like to get the crafting kit from him as early as possible, so that way I can start crafting things. So there's only one or two cookbooks, as they're called, in this entire game that I actually like. Well, I say the entire game, but I have no idea. I've only played the first area. From the Church of El, you want to come north. In the beginning portion of the game, there is a specific direction you want to travel, even though most of this game is open world. If you don't go ahead and go to this next site of Grace that I'm headed towards, the rest of your playthrough is going to either be extremely difficult, extremely slow, or non-existent. So I didn't get it this time, but these 5 or 6 Godric soldiers that I just went through, they're usually pretty good about dropping the Lord Sworn Straight Sword, which is, in my opinion, one of the best normal straight swords in the game. But obviously I didn't get it this time. I may have to come back and farm that later, but for right now we're just going to continue. apparently, my guy needs to work on his accuracy. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. Now I'll have to deal with both of these guys, which is not ideal. Oh, 3. Joy. Alright, so the best way to take on these guys early is to kind of circle around, wait for them to stab at you, and if you're moving at the right speed, you'll be able to get that backstab on them. Ideally, I would have come through and killed this guy first because he has this yellow horn. And it's a real pain in the butt when he blows into that horn and signals to all of his friends that you were in the camp. And then you get aggroed. So here we have a piece of the map. Most of the map, well, all of the map, will start out like this until you collect a piece of the map, and then you end up with detailed chunks of the map like this that actually help you navigate and determine where you need to go. Let's see, go back over here. The whole reason for clearing this area out at this level was so that I could come down the staircase and get a whetstone. And the whetstone is what's going to let me set different skills to my weapons and shields. And I guess we also get the Storm Stomp, but I don't really care about that one. I think I usually sell that one off for extra runes. I've never used it. Alright, so this is the last guy I'm going to kill before resting at that grace. The only reason I'm killing him is because he's guarding this coffin that has a chest on it. You open the chest, you get a greatsword. And just early game, until I get a decent weapon, the greatsword is probably going to be the weapon that I use for the vast majority of the time. Now, this side of grace is important to the playthrough because until you get to this side of grace, you cannot level up. And there is, you know, this is where Melina comes and first talks to you and gives you Torrent. and without torrent, you can't start Rena's quest. And so this is why I said coming here is like you gotta get here, or the rest of your playthrough is either going to be extremely difficult, very slow, or non-existent. I mean, again, like I said earlier, you do what you want, but you know, just thoughts for consideration.
Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina. I offer you an accord.
Alright, so Melina is essentially going to say,
Have you heard of
right now you are maidenless, as such you cannot turn your runes into strength. However, I want to enter into a contract with you and, you know, give you the ability to level up. All you have to do is get to the foot of the Erd tree, blah 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 blah. If you refuse, you have to go through the whole game at level 1. So, I'm not a masochist. I'm going to accept her offer.
Then it's settled. Summon me. I bequeath to you.
She will
this
also
ring.
give you the Ring of Torrent, which allows you to summon Torrent, the horse reindeer thing that she was on earlier.
Use it. It will summon Torrent. Treat him with respect.
This is the item I was talking about when I said unless you get to this site of grace, you cannot start Rena's questline, because Rena will not show up at the Church of El until you have Torrent.
Your ambitions. The principles you would follow.
I've already said that I'm doing a quality build, so I'm just going to get both strength and dexterity up to 16. The reason 16 is my magic number is that's what it requires to carry the claymore and strength. So you know, that's the reason I've chosen 16. Sorry, I said claymore. I meant the Lord Sworn straight sword. You guys got me. From here, now that we have Torrent, we are fast traveling back to the Church of El to talk to Rena and officially start her questline.
This way, Tarnished. May I have a word? A pleasure to meet thee, Tarnished. I am the witch. I'd heard tell of a Tarnished, and upon looking into the matter, the talk, I surmise, is of thee. Thou art possessed of the power, no? To call forth a spectral steed named Torrent. Ah, as I had hoped. I was entrusted this for thee, by Torrent's former master. 'Tis a bell for calling forth spirits. Summon them with it. From ash and return to the Erd tree, the spirits will obey thine command but briefly. As they recall battles past, now it is thine, to do with as thou wishest. Forgive mine intrusion, Tarnished. I doubt we shall again meet. But all the same, learn well the lands between. How long will it be, I wonder, before the Tarnished tire of obeisance to the two fingers?
Alright, and now we have the ability to call forth lone wolf ashes. So when you pull up your inventory, or the menu for your inventory, you can come over here to the right and set certain items to make them easier to get to. So that way, when you're just out here in the world, you can hold triangle, press a direction, and use that item. For instance, you don't even have to hold it very long. You can just kind of quickly tap it and pull out torrent or whatever it is you're going for before it even has the chance to really show up. But anyways, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, follow, and hope to see you in the next one.